Chaitanya, always number one.
Hi children, today we are going to discuss about the introduction of the space settlements. So space settlements is a theme which made humans to think about their safety, security and survival of human civilization on earth. Today I am going to discuss what is the meaning of the space colony or space settlement, why we needed a space settlement, how we can able to construct the space settlement, and where we are planning our space settlement, and finally when we are achieving this idea. These 5 parts I will discuss in today's class. Space settlement. Space settlement means construction of a human habitation. As we know, on earth we have different types of habitations. The habitations, the look and the habitations, the construction will change from place to place on earth. If you go to the habitation of humans in a village, in a rural area, you will find the structure of the habitations, the materials of the habitation which are used for the construction are different when we are compared the same habitation in the urban area. As you know, the science and technology, different engineering techniques and different advancements of technology are ready available in urban area when compared to the rural area. So we will found the structure of the habitation a difference, the engineering of the habitation a difference between rural and urban areas. So habitation is a place humans can live safely, securely on earth. The same we can think about the space also. So space settlement means construction of a human habitation which made the life of humans secured and which save the life of humans in the future catastrophes or disasters, either natural or man-made. So space settlements is defined as a human habitation in space where we can have all the life supporting system which we are experiencing on earth. The definition of the space colony or space settlement is very simple if we understood this one. And after understanding the definition, now everyone may think about what made people to think about the space colonization, because you know very well the only planet in the solar system where life is existing is Earth, the blue planet. Either the beside planets of the Earth, red planet Mars or yellow planet Venus, couldn't have a life which we are experiencing on Earth, because the structure of the Earth is supported the life from the beginning. 70% of the Earth is made up of water, 30% of the Earth is having land area, the water and the land together providing the 100% life support for the human beings who are there on Earth. Then why the humans are thinking about space colonization? It is a biggest question in the mind when we are talking about space colonization. Today, I will answer this question with examples. So why we need a space colony? The first and foremost example is to secure, to save, and to survive. What to secure? What to save? What to survive? To secure the human life, to save the human life, to survive the human civilization, we require a space colony. Because if we go through the fundamentals of the earth formation and the life existence on the earth, we have different examples which are forcing the humans right now to make an alternative arrangement for the human habitation. Either it is on a planet or moon or in space, which is a free area, boundless and endless. Boundless and endless. Because, as you all know, the human civilization was not came like this onto the earth in the beginning. We, the humans, are the transformed animals from Homo sapiens, and the Homo sapiens are transformed from the apes. So, apes are the first animals which lived the life. In the apes category, a category of apes were slowly transformed into humans, and these in the apes category, a particular category of apes was transformed slowly into Homo sapiens, and these Homo sapiens are transformed into humans later on. So altogether, if we check the human civilization's birth on earth, we have an answer that it is in and around 6 to 7 million years ago only the life of humans or the life of the animals which are living right now on the earth along with the humans came into existence on earth. But earth was formed, earth was taken birth some 5 billion years ago because of an event called Big Bang. So according to Big Bang theory, the earth was formed, the earth was taken birth before 5 billion years ago. The exact age of the earth, by considering the age of oldest rock available on earth, we are saying 4.54 billion years ago. But there is a huge difference of the time between the life of humans started on earth and the life of earth life. So when scientists are investigated about this life of humans on earth and the earth life, they came to know about the previous lives on earth. Earth was started 4.54 billion years ago. Earth was started 4.54 billion years ago, and this started earth in the beginning had a lot of water on it, and this water presence was given and explained by different theories, and the best explanation was given by cloud and dust theory. If, for example, for reference, you can check that cloud and dust theory. For reference, we can check that cloud and dust theory. So 70% area is filled with water, and in the beginning this water is called as Tethys Ocean, and remaining 30% we have land area, and in the beginning this 30% land area is called as Pangaea. But as you know, water is stagnated for a long time, given rise to a green algae underneath. So under the head of the water, there was a green algae was formed, and this green algae is the first thing which evolved the oxygen, and that evolved oxygen was dissolved in water. So the level of oxygen was present somewhat more in water. So the first life on earth was started in water itself, and this life was continued for certain million of years, and because of one thing, the life in water was extincted. That is the first mass extinction happened on earth. Up to now, there are 5 mass extinctions are happened on earth. Whatever the life which was started some 4.52 billion years ago on earth was extincted 4.4 billion years ago, that is 444 million years ago. That was the first mass extinction, which is named as Silurian extinction. The second mass extinction on earth was happened 3.65 billion years ago. The third mass extinction was happened some 2.64 billion years ago. And the fourth mass extinction was happened some 2.4 billion years ago. And this mass extinction is the extinction of dinosaurs. So this extinction is named as Triassic Jurassic extinction. And recently, 65 million years ago, there was a mass extinction was happened, Cretaceous Paleogene extinction. And whatever the extinction, this extinction is giving a sense that the life on earth is not permanent. Because you see, whatever the life was started, it was gone for extinction of certain period of time. So, either today, whatever the life we are seeing on earth, it will go and extinct after some time. It may not be today or it may not be tomorrow. It may take 100 years, 1000 years, 10,000 years, 1 lakh year or 1 million year. Whatever the period, definitely the life which we are seeing right now on earth may go for extinction. This made humans to think about their safety, security and survival. Because today, whatever the life we are observing on earth, among all these life, among all these animals, the animal called human became more predominant, more superior, more supreme in every aspect. So, we can say the most beautiful life on earth is human life only. So, this beauty, we cannot leave it for extinction. This beauty of humanity, we want to spread over the solar system. For making these superior animals called humans or human civilization to the future generations, to survive the human civilization, to secure the human civilization, to save the humans around the world. In today, we are talking about space colonization or space settlement. There are 5 major reasons why we are started about space settlements theme. The first reason is the science, whatever we learned about our earth, is giving a threatening or it is giving a warning that the life of humans is not secured on earth. Apart from this analogy, either you can take the Greek mythology or Hindu mythology, or you can take a Bible reference, or you can take a reference of Quran. Whatever it is, they also giving the same thing that the life on earth is not permanent. Whatever the life we are observing right now on earth is going to be extinct at one part of the time, either today or tomorrow, either this year or next year. We didn't have a clarity. This is one reason why NASA, why humans are trying to colonize this space. The second reason is, in today's world, we are facing so many problems. Some problems are naturally occurring because of the nature, and some problems are created by man. So the disasters which are threatening the humans' safety, security and survival on earth, from nature is called natural disasters, and the disasters which made a warning or which are a threat for the safety, security and survival of humans on earth because of the man-made deeds, those are called man-made disasters. Whatever the category of disaster, the disaster always create destruction. Destruction to the human life, destruction to the property, destruction to the nature. Either it is man-made or natural. You may have a doubt. So what disasters are called natural? What disasters are called man-made? The disasters like occurrence of a earthquake, the disaster like occurrence of a cyclone, the disasters like occurrence of a tsunami, the disasters like occurrence of floods, the disasters like avalanches, landslides, tornadoes, all these are called as natural disasters. Among these natural disasters, what I mentioned, some disasters may be caused because of the man-made deeds indirectly. For example, if you consider earthquakes, earthquakes are once in a 10 years, once in a 100 years in previous era. But today, in the modern era, we are having earthquake is a common thing in the world right now. Very frequently they are continuing. Very frequently they are occurring. Why? Because to accommodate the population, whatever increasing on the earth, we are making multi-stair buildings. Big towers. And these big towers would require construction material which can go 100 meters, 200 meters and sometimes 1000 meters into the earth crust also. So, to make a foundation stone, what we are doing, we are digging the big holes. Instead of the soil, we are covering it with iron, cement, concrete, bricks, etc., which will disturb the soil composition on the earth. As we know, the soil composition on the earth is the main reason for the formation of tectonic plates, and these tectonic plates are the main reason for the occurrence of earthquakes, because the theory about the tectonic plates is saying that tectonic plates are always in motion. They are making continuous adjustments in the earth layers. If this adjustment is bigger in intensity, it will cause a destruction. Based on the intensity of the tectonic plates adjustment, based on the intensity of the tectonic plates adjustment, we are measuring that intensity on the seismograph and we are giving the range of the earthquake. If it is below 3, the intensity level is below 3, earthquakes are normal. Just we will feel the shaking of the earth, but we couldn't feel any destruction at all. But if it is more than 5, we will feel the shaking of the earth. We will also experience the destruction caused by the earthquake. Similarly, if the intensity of the earthquake is more than 8, it will create a huge destruction. It will create a huge destruction. So, by this example, we can understand that some natural disasters are indirectly caused by the man-made deeds only. Okay? Apart from the natural disasters, if we go to the disasters made by the man, you may have a doubt how man will make disaster. I am not saying that man directly making the disaster, but man deeds, whatever the deeds we are doing right now on the name of our life luxury, on the name of our life standards, are affecting and causing the destruction on earth. For example, industrialization. The major resource of revenue on earth is industries. And from 19th century onwards, the industrial revolution was spread over the world. Now in each and every country, either it is a small country or the big country, the economy of the country depends upon the number of industries run in that country. And these industries are the main reason which improved our life standards by improving economy, and as well as these industries are the reason why we are having more luxury to our life today. More luxury. But you know, these industries are indirectly polluting everything on earth. The water, wastewater, which is released onto the soil from the industry, the influence, the waste influence released by the exhaust tunnels of the industries into air, polluting all the four major aspects of the earth. First aspect is air. The air is polluted, whatever we are breathing, and if we are breathing the polluted air, it will pollute our lungs, it will pollute our biological functioning of the body, and so we are getting sickness, we are getting frequent illness, and we will have to go to doctor every time. Apart from that, the water we are drinking is polluted, the food we are eating is polluted, even the soil from which we are getting this water and from which we are forming the food, both are polluted. So, soil pollution, water pollution, food pollution, air pollution, or decreasing the lifespan of the humans. That was the major concern. So, today NASA was planned a space colony. Why? Because if not we are able to send the humans to accommodate over there, we can send all the industries into space so that our economy wouldn't be disturbed, and even we can bring back the balance in our ecosystem or environment in which we are living. So this is the second reason why NASA or humans are thinking about space settlements. The third reason is the life support, whatever we are getting on the earth, is because of the resources from the earth. Earth is providing the resources like water, air, gravity, food, energy, everything which supports life and which we are calling it as the factors of life. So all these factors of life are related to the earthbound resources. But now these earthbound resources consumption is growing more and more because of the population density which is growing on earth. So the population density growing on earth is consuming the resources very quickly, and now the NASA or the human beings are worrying about the consumption rate. If the rate is continuous like this, within 10 years or within 100 years or within 1000 years or within a lakh year or a 1 million year, our resources are completely exhausted on earth, then where we will get these resources? And if without these resources, life on earth is a question mark for us. So this is the third reason why NASA is planning to construct space colonies. Because by name of space colonies, if we shift all these industries, there won't be any disturbance to our revenue, as well as our life luxury, as well as our life standard. In addition to that, our lifespan is also will increase because there is no pollution at all on earth. We will bring back the balance in ecosystem. We will bring back the balance in our environment. Reason number 4. Apart from this, the earthbound resources are categorized into 2 parts: renewable resources, non-renewable resources. If you take renewable resources, we can consume it, we can regenerate it. When we are considering about non-renewable resources, we can use it, but we are unable to regenerate it. In the case of non-renewable resources, we have a worry for our human civilization. We have a worry about our safety and security on earth. So, scientists are planning to use the resources which are present abundantly in space. So, space is providing abundant resources. What are they? If you take an asteroid, recently we came to one conclusion that the NASA's OSIRIS-REx mission was reached the Bennu asteroid, and this Bennu asteroid soil and rocks are collected from the what we call it as robotic arm of that OSIRIS-REx. And why they are collecting the rocks and soil? Because they want to test the soil contamination, because they want to test the soil contamination, and by that information they want to decide when the life or when the planets are started. Apart from that, the asteroids will consist of water content will be there. The asteroids will consist of minerals like very costliest minerals like gemstones, gold, platinum, iridium, scandium, titanium, like this. So if you are able to go to space colony, you can mine those asteroids so that you can make a new revenue farm, so that you can upgrade the standards of human life on earth. Another resource is radiation. If you go to space, 24/7 we will get radiation instead of 12 hours radiation on earth. On earth, you know, because of the self-rotation of the earth, we will receive 12 hours only the radiation of this star, either sun or any other. But remaining 12 hours, we are in dark mode. But in space, you are in day mode only every time. So, what you can do by using big solar panels, by using the solar batteries, by using the solar cells, you can convert all the solar radiation into the useful electricity, and that electricity may be a resource of revenue for you. So this is another reason why NASA is planning to utilize this space colony thing. Apart from that, the population density which is increasing on earth is a threat for our safety, security and survival of human civilization, because the land is not increasing on earth, but the population is increasing day by day, month by month, year by year. And today we have more than 7.8 billion people around the world, and among these 7.8 billion people, we are having nearly 3 billion people in China and India together. Because China is the first country in the population, India is the second country in the population rankings. So this population density is threatening our safety, security and survival of human civilization on earth. By means of the space colonization, we can shift some population into space so that excess population can be not made earth overcrowded. Not made earth overcrowded. And by means of the tourism, you can make a new form of revenue making. So if you are able to construct a space colony, you can invite people around the world to come and visit your space colony so that you can make a lot of money. So space tourism will develop, and that space tourism is a new idea of revenue. Based on all these ideas, we are thinking about space colonization or space settlements right now. So this is the answer for why we require a space colony or a space settlement. So what I explained, why I explained. Now how you are able to make a space colony. Making of space colonies is very, very easy if you are attempting with your hand in technology. If you are using the new developments in the engineering, if you are using the new inventions made in the science area. So if you are able to have all these three things in your hand, you can make a space colony wherever you required. Either the colony we can make on moon, or we can make a colony on Mars, we can make a colony in space at a particular distance from the earth also. So above the earth, starting from 1 kilometer to, if you go to 1000 kilometers, 10,000 kilometers, 1 lakh kilometer, 10 lakh kilometers, 1 million, 1 billion, whatever the distance, all this area is called as space only. So space is a boundaryless, endless region which is expanding continuously in the universe. And this space is present above the earth, below the earth, beside of the earth, in any direction, 360 degrees, in any direction you start your travel, you will find space only. And NASA is aimed to construct the space colonies in the space as a free floating body, because either you are able to construct the colonies on Mars. If you started colonizing the Mars, it will take some time to completely occupy the area available on Mars. Once the area is occupied, then where we will go? Can we go for Jupiter? Even Jupiter is the biggest planet in the solar system, but that Jupiter is also having a limited area. So where we will go after Jupiter? Saturn, after Uranus, after Neptune. But after Neptune, where we will go? There is no other planet in the solar system. So based on this idea, they started to think about space colonization. Instead of colonizing the Mars, instead of colonizing the moon, we can use the moon surface or the Mars surface to construct a base camp. But our idea today is to construct a space colony in space at a particular distance from the earth, or at a particular distance from the moon, or at a particular distance from the Mars, or at a particular distance from the Mars, whatever it is. So how we can construct the space colonies? So space colonies can be constructed by using certain materials which are suitable for making the colony in space. Why? Because you see, whenever we are making a habitation on earth, we are thinking about the conditions in that area. So in India, we have majority of the buildings were made by iron and cement and concrete. But when it goes to some other countries, you may see different structures of the habitations. Somebody will make the habitation with wood. Somebody will make the habitation with some other material. Even in India, in olden days, we have thatched roofs and soil walls. The walls made up of soil, the black soil. Am I correct or not? So, the construction of the habitation depends upon the conditions of the location where we are chosen. So, the location of the space colony where we can put our space colony without any tension, without any deviation, is Lagrangian points. And I will come to that talk after completion of how, because the next question will be the answer for that Lagrangian points, where we can construct space colonies. So how we can construct space colonies? By selecting the suitable material. So which type of material we can use? The type of material we can use should be having a great melting point, because in space we have 24/7 radiation. So the material which we are taking should sustain that radiation. So even though at that radiation, at that temperature also, the material should be in solid state only. If it will be melted, it won't be no use for us. So we will choose the materials with high melting point and less weight. Why? Because on Earth we are using more weights because we have basement. But when it comes to space, there is no base at all. We have to create the base by using these materials only. So create a better base by using the materials. We require a material which is having high tensile strength and low weight. Low weight, high tensile strength. So if these three properties are accepted by the materials, then those materials we can use for the construction of human habitation. This is how we are able to construct human habitation in space. Then the next question is where we have to construct human habitation. So when it comes to where, already I mentioned it is Lagrangian points. So you know very well the universal law of gravitation, which is explained by Sir Isaac Newton, the famous scientist in 20th and 21st centuries. He was explained that every body in the universe will attract every other body with a force of attraction directly proportional to product of the masses and inversely proportional to square of the distance between them. So according to Sir Isaac Newton, every body will attract towards the earth, and that attraction force would create an acceleration in that body, and that acceleration we are naming it as acceleration due to gravity. Okay, so this acceleration due to gravity is one of the major life supporting systems. So this major life supporting system can be obtained, can be provided by using certain location, and this location we named it as Lagrangian points. So in between any two massive bodies, either between sun and the earth or between earth and the moon, because here to apply the Lagrangian mechanism, the bodies should obey the formula that both will have a attractive force between them and one body is revolving around the other body. In that case only we will have Lagrangian points, and these Lagrangian points will be placed. These Lagrangian points will be placed on the line joining the two bodies or two planets and on the path taken by the one planet in revolving around the other. So orbit. So there are 5 Lagrangian points in general, L1, L2, L3, which will lie on the same line which is joining the planet and the sun and the planets and its moons. So by this we can answer where we are planning our space colony. And final one is when. You may ask the doubt when the space colonies would become possible, because today in the modern world getting the capital investment is one of the main reason in each and every success. Even though there are so many scientists in our country, the country couldn't have many patents because of the funding problem only. They are interested to do the research, but we are unable to provide them the required funds for their research. So now in the world the research was going on, and the NASA was coordinating with the entire world in better research towards the development of a space colony. So within 15 years, I can assure our dream may come true regarding the space settlements, or it may be earlier than that also. Okay, so these are the 5 basic points by which we will understand the theme of the space settlements. So what is a space settlement? we defined. Why we require a space settlement, we explained. And how a space settlement can be built, we explained. Where a space settlement can be built, we explained. And when a space settlement can be a real one, already I mentioned.